The imperfect tense, the imparfait, is used to talk about things that happened in the past that happened for more than just one moment in time. It's used to describe past events and feelings, or to talk about things that always used to happen or happened over and over again, or things that were going on in the past when something else happened. Here are just three examples of the imparfait in context. Il était très grand et il portait une casquette. Il était heureux. So he was very tall. He was wearing a baseball cap. He was happy. When you're describing what somebody looked like, what they were wearing, how they used to feel, that's imparfait because you're describing their general state of being, not just one moment. Il pleuvait hier. Je ne pouvais pas jouer au football. It was raining yesterday. I couldn't play soccer. Again, these are something that went on for more than just a moment. Quand nous étions petits, nous allions toujours chez ma grand-mère et elle nous préparait des biscuits. This is something that always used to happen, happened repeatedly. When we were little, we would always go to my grandma's house and she would cook cookies. She would make cookies. So these are things that happened over and over again in the past, not just for one moment. Let's look at how to form the imparfait. It's actually pretty easy. First of all, it's easy to look at the endings. They go AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. The boot shape is all pronounced A. So A, and A. And then this is ion, IE. So those are our stems. A, ion, IE, A. To remember them, there is a song you could sing. I'll sing it right now. It's AIS, AIS, AITIONS, IEZAIENT. This is the imperfect tense. AIS, AIS, AITIONS, IEZAIENT. This is the imperfect tense. Those are the endings. To make the stem, it's also pretty simple. You take the present tense nous form of each verb, nous allons, nous regardons, nous attendons, and you drop the O and S. So my stem is al, regarde, attend. And then I add AIS, etc. to the end. So here's what parler would look like in the imparfait, and this means I was speaking, I used to speak, you were speaking, or you used to speak, etc. So je parlais, tu parlais, il parlait, nous parlions, vous parliez, elle parlait. Pretty simple, I think. So here's ER verbs. You take the infinitive and you think about what is the present tense nous form, drop the ONS, and you've got your stem that you add those endings to. So regarder, je regardais, tu regardais, il regardait, nous regardions, vous regardiez, elle regardait. That's it. I do want to point out there's only one irregular in the imparfait. We'll see that in the next lesson. But there's like 1.5 irregulars, and that is GER verbs. Remember in the new form, we add an E to keep that G sound soft, mangeons, instead of mangon. Well, that E we will need in the boot shape, because in the boot shape, I have the letter A that follows, and I don't want this to be pronounced je mangeais. I want it to be je mangeais. So wherever I have an A that follows that G, I need to insert an E to keep that G sound soft. So in the boot shape, I add the letter E. But outside of the boot shape, nous and vous, I do not, because G and I are already a soft sound. Mangions, mangiez, there would be no benefit to putting an extra E there. So je mangeais, tu mangeais, il mangeait, nous mangions, vous mangiez, il mangeait. And this is I was eating, you were eating, he was eating, or we used to eat, you all used to eat, they used to eat. Like they used to eat pizza rolls or something like that. IR verbs. So let me pause for a second. It's easy to say, hey, why don't I just take the infinitive and drop the ER off the end? And if I looked at the previous page, okay, allons, the stem was ALL, why don't I just drop aller, the ER off the end? The reason I can't just drop the infinitive endings of ER, IR, RE is because of IR verbs. When you conjugate an IR verb, remember the new form has ISSONS. It has that ISS in there, and I need to keep that for my imparfait stems. So that is why I take the new form, because they are including the ISS for IR verbs. So for finir, nous finissons, my stem is finis. Choisir, nous choisissons, my stem is choisissent. Réussir, réussissons, my stem is réussissent. That can make for some really long imparfait verbs. Just a heads up. If you see one that looks really funky, it might be accurate. Here's finir, shorter one. Je finissais, tu finissais, il finissait. Nous finissions, vous finissiez, elle finissait. Notice it's nice and smooth over here. Finissions, finissiez. Finally, we have RE verbs. They're pretty simple. You drop the ONS, which means you have these short stems. Attends, vent, terre. So I used to wait, you used to wait, he used to wait is j'attendais, tu attendais, il attendait, nous attendions, vous attendiez, elles attendaient. That's it. That is it for regular verbs. Here are what they look like in context with some translations. These are in your notes. J'habitais en France quand j'avais 24 ans. I used to live in France when I was 24 years old. Tu obéissais tes parents. You used to obey your parents. Il vendait des voitures. He was selling cars. Elle chantait pendant qu'elle cuisinait. She was singing while she was cooking. Nous choisissions toujours la glace au chocolat. We always used to choose chocolate ice cream. Vous attendiez le bus tous les matins. You all waited for the bus every morning. Ils mangeaient dans le restaurant. They were eating in the restaurant. Elle répondait toujours à mes questions. They always responded to my questions. Here's just a little glimpse as to when you would use the imparfait, when you say always, or they were doing something, or they used to do something. That gives you the impression that it happened over and over again and not just for one moment. I have also included in your notes a link to ER, IR, and RE verbs so that you are familiar with ones that you could use in examples. All of those verbs follow the rules we just saw. There are no exceptions on that list. Lastly, if you have a reflexive verb, one that begins with se in the infinitive, you keep those pronouns. Otherwise, same rules. Je me couchais, I used to go to bed. Tu te baignais, you used to take baths. Il se rasait, he used to shave. Nous nous maquillions, we used to do our makeup. Vous vous amusiez, you all used to have fun. Elle s'habillait, they used to get dressed in, they used to wear. So like, elle s'habillait toujours en t-shirt. They always used to wear a t-shirt. So that is a glimpse of how to conjugate in the imparfait for regular verbs. We will look at irregular verbs next, but they are not much more difficult.